Hi there, first grade. I am so excited to be here recording our very first literacy video for our online learning YouTube page. This is the English version of our literacy video, so if you are in Miss Finney's or Miss Kelly's class, this is the right video for you. Today, we are going to be able to retell key details using signal words. Now, you might remember some signal words like first, then, next. Finally, I've included an anchor chart here of some of the other transition words that we might use today when reading our story. Our story today is called Why the Sun and Moon Live in the Sky. This story is a folk tale, and what makes that so special is it means that families pass the story down from generation to generation. So they told their children their story, they told their children the story, and it passed along until someone finally wrote it down for us to be able to read today. We're going to start by reading the whole story, and then we're going to go back and practice using those transition words to retell the key details. I'm going to have the computer read the story, follow along with the highlighted word. Here we go.
The sun and the moon live in the sky.
Long, long ago, sun and moon were husband and wife. They lived together on Earth in a lovely house. Each day, they visited their good friend Sea and spent time together. However, Sea never visited Sun and Moon at their house. One day, Sun asked Sea, "Why don't you visit us?" "I can't leave my big family," Sea explained. "There isn't enough room in your house for me to bring them." So Sun and Moon decided to build a larger house. Then Sea could visit them. When they finished their house, Sun and Moon invited Sea and her family to come over. Fish, seals, and turtles flowed into the house. Soon, there was 4 feet of water. Meanwhile, Sea kept asking, "Are you sure you want everyone to come in?" Sun and Moon replied, "Yes." As the water rose to the ceiling, Sun and Moon climbed outside and went to the roof. When the house was completely covered by Sea and her family, Sun and Moon moved up to the sky. That's where they have stayed to this very day.
Okay, now that we have gone back and read our story, we need to be able to retell all the key details, the important events that happened in that story, using some signal words. Miss Kelly has already chosen some that she's going to use as her example. I'm going to be using in the beginning, after that, and finally. I want you to make sure you are choosing different words than Miss Kelly to practice. So again, I have these anchor chart here. You can go back and pause the video to look at them anytime you need to. Let's go back to that first page. And again, Miss Kelly's going to practice and model, and then you're going to do your turn as well. Okay, so I'm back on the beginning page, and I'm going to go back and reread the paragraph to myself, and then I'm going to use that sentence and that transition word that I thought of in the beginning. Let's see. Long, long ago, sun and moon were husband and wife. They lived together on Earth in a lovely house. Each day, they visited their good friend Sea and spent time together. However, Sea never visited sun and moon at their house. Okay, I know my transition word I want to use is in the beginning. So I'm going to say something like, in the beginning, sun and moon lived together on Earth in a lovely house. They liked to visit their friend Sea. However, Sea never visited sun and moon at their house. That was Miss Kelly's example. Go ahead and pause the video and think of your sentence that you want to say out loud. If you have a friend or a family member with you, you can tell the sentence to them. If not, just like Miss Kelly, practice out loud. Beautiful. Let's move on and continue rereading our story. I know that the next one that I'm going to use, my next signal word is after that. So I already used in the beginning. Let's continue and see what I'm going to say after that. One day, Sun asked C, "Why don't you visit us?" "I can't leave my big family," C explained. "There isn't enough room in your house for me to bring them." So Sun and Moon decided to build a larger house. Then C could visit them. So I said, in the beginning, Sun and Moon lived together on Earth in a lovely house. They liked to visit their friend C, but C could never visit them at their house. After that, Sun and Moon decided to build a larger house so their friend C could visit them. Now it's your turn. You've heard my example. Think in your head, what would your transition word and how would you explain the key details of this story? Again, if you have a friend or a partner you can share with, go ahead. If not, just whisper it out loud. All right. Awesome job retelling the key details so far. We're towards the end of our story. I'm going to reread the last 2 pages, and then the signal word that I'm going to use is finally. Do you have to use the same one as me? No, you know lots of signal words that you can use when it's your turn. Let's continue. When they finished their house, Sun and Moon invited C and her family to come over. Fish, seals, and turtles flowed into the house. Soon there was 4 feet of water. Meanwhile, C kept asking, "Are you sure you want everyone to come in?" Sun and Moon replied, "Yes." As the water rose to the ceiling, Sun and Moon climbed outside and went to the roof. When the house was completely covered by C and her family, Sun and Moon moved up to the sky. That's where they have stayed to this very day. Wow, that was a lot of details. Now we know we only want to include the most important, those key details. So I need to think, what was the most important details I learned on this page? Well, I know C came over to visit and it flooded the house with lots of water. And because the water kept rising so high and so high, Sun and Moon had to move into the sky. Okay, those sound like my key details. Let me put it all together in a final sentence. Finally, Sun and Moon invited C to their house. However, when C came in, she flooded the house full of water. Sun and Moon had to move into the sky where they stayed for the rest of time. The end. Okay, now it's your turn. Think of your signal word and practice your sentence that you would use to describe what happened in the end of our story. Wow, first graders, I can tell that you were really trying your best to retell those key details. Now that we've practiced out loud, telling the whole details of the entire story, I want you to go back and pick just one key detail that's stuck in your brain, and you're going to write it for us. So, I put a couple examples of sentences that you might use to help you get started. You might say something like, in the story, or you could say something like, one key detail from the story is, Remember, if you need help going and spelling, you can go back in the video to when we were reading and pause it to help you spell some of those tricky words from the story. If you need to go back, that's absolutely okay. Make sure you are including one of these key details on your work for literacy. Just like Ms. Dirksen explained in our morning meeting video, we want you to take a picture of all your work at the end of the day. So make sure you keep your paper with you so that when you have math work this afternoon, you could take a picture of them both and send them to us. Awesome job, first grade. I can't wait to see these sentences. Have a great day.